Due to the potentially dark and frightening content of our investigations, this episode may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ghosts, spirits, demons. What are these entities? What do they want, and why are they here? My paranormal investigation crew's goal is to answer these questions and others like them. Questions we've been asking for centuries.
Who are you?
We've assembled a crew of the most dedicated enthusiasts in the area to capture evidence of these entities. What we find might be disturbing, dangerous even, but we are prepared for the journey ahead of us. The question is, are you prepared to take this journey with us? It's midnight, falling into the darkness, guided only by midnight's light. This is Midnight's Light Paranormal. The Brown Memorial Library, located in rural Lewisburg, Ohio, a seemingly quiet and peaceful town. But with a history dating back to the 1800s, the buildings that line the streets are said to be a breeding ground for paranormal activity. The library is one of the buildings that has gained a lot of attention because of the odd experiences that occur within its walls. One of the things that makes the library so interesting is its long history. In fact, the building didn't start off as a library at all. It was originally the home of the Brown family. Dr. W.G. Brown, his wife Maud, and his two daughters Anna and Ellen were the most well-known residents of the home. The building doubled as the residence as well as a place for Dr. Brown to practice medicine. During the early 1900s, tuberculosis was a common ailment that led to death and often kept the doctor busy. No one knows how many people took their last breath in Dr. Brown's home, which some believe has contributed to the high level of paranormal activity. Another possible factor for the reported hauntings could be the untimely demise of the family members themselves. In 1925, the youngest daughter, Ellen, reportedly suffered a nervous breakdown and was confined to her room. Soon after, she passed away due to complications from tuberculosis at the young age of 19. Could young Ellen's nervous breakdown have been the result of torment by those who died there? Only 7 years later, Dr. Brown himself suffered a cerebral hemorrhage that sent him into a coma, which eventually led to his death. Dr. Brown's wife, Maud, was the next family member to perish just a year later in 1933. Her cause of death was apoplexy, which is more commonly known as a stroke. Maud's sudden death was a shock to the community because she was known to be in good health prior to her passing. The last surviving member of the Brown family, Anna, or Anne, was stricken by tuberculosis that led to her death in 1934, just as her sister had before her. Within a short 9-year period, all of the Brown family members had tragically died. Before her passing, Miss Brown willed the family home to the village of Lewisburg to be used as a library. The library opened up on September 28, 1935, exactly 3 years to the day from the time that Dr. Brown passed away, thus beginning the history of the modern-day Brown Memorial Library. Do the Brown family members and patients who may have perished still reside at the library? Several current employees of the Brown Memorial Library, including the director Diana, have had paranormal experiences there in the past. We are here with Diana and Joyce at the Brown Memorial Library, and they claim to have paranormal experiences here. Alright, I'm going to start with you, Diana. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've experienced here?
Sure. I've worked here at the library for about 18 and a half years, and the first experience that I remember having with anything that seemed a little out of the ordinary, let's say, would have been probably around the period of maybe 2001 to like 2003, and there were just a few little things that just kind of stood out as far as things that maybe wouldn't happen on a regular basis. We never had really heard stories about the library being haunted until some of these things started being observed. And being that it was the home of the W.G. Brown family, and he was a doctor, and being his family home, he did see patients here. So we were never really sure when these things started happening and we started observing them, if it were possible patients or just family members or exactly what might have been happening. But the first encounter really that I had was that was really serious was probably around 2003, something like that, or 4. And my office is situated in such a way that I I could see out into the library, but not all areas of the library. There's a double door as you come in the back entry, which causes a vacuum when the door is opened for the interior door. And at the time, we had cleaning folks who were coming and cleaning at night after the library was closed. And I heard the very clear sound of the vacuum of the outer door being open and then the interior door, that sound, and assumed it was cleaning people, but no cleaning people entered the building. So that was kind of creepy. And then, over the years, had some other encounters, as other folks on staff did. But just everything from certain smells that seemed, like something perhaps that you would encounter in someone's family home.
Yeah.
Baking smells and things like that, perfume. So really, it's been just, sometimes periods would be longer in between the encounters, but I would say, just speaking for myself, in that period of maybe a 5-year period, I probably had maybe, I don't know, probably half a dozen little quirky things happen.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And if you think about it, how you mentioned that this was their home, everything that they did was here. I mean, they slept here, they ate here, they did family things together here, so a lot of it.
Practice medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his patients could have,
Exactly.
passed away here.
Yes.
So there's a lot of energy here from people living here and from his medical practices. Do you know of any other staff members who aren't here that has had experiences?
We did have someone on staff, and really that was the only person who ever had seen actually anything. She had mentioned that she was also in this same office area with a clear view of what our children's room, and at that time we had a rocking chair. It's kind of a larger rocking chair in there, and again she was working late, the only one in the building, probably was in the neighborhood of 8:30 to 9 p.m. And she looked, just something made her look up from her work, and the chair was rocking, and she clearly saw a figure in the chair, kind of period dress, like a long dress, 1800s type, something you would see in that, with kind of like a hair in a bun type situation, and rocking. Very transparent, so nothing real clear, but and then she looked down and looked up, and of course the figure was gone and the chair was no longer rocking. So.
Oh, wow. Is the children's room part of the original home?
It is not. The area, the original home was where we're doing this, where we're conducting this interview here. These were all bedrooms up here, and they were a family of 4. And so then downstairs there was formerly like a front parlor, and that's where Dr. Brown, I think, probably saw patients in that area. But the original house was just just the 2 floors, and it was kind of different because when there's been several remodelings over the years, and then an addition that was put on where the children's room is, and that addition came on in about the late 80s.
There's a lot of history here.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
That could, bring up paranormal experiences. And Joyce, you said that you've had paranormal experiences as well. Can you tell me a
Yes,
little bit about that?
I've not been here as long. I would say in between 2006 and 7, there was books would fall off the shelf, or certain things would fall, and no reason at all that happened.
Yeah.
And as Diana had said about the different smells, you could smell roses as you come up the stairs. It would smell like roses, and it was always a pleasant experience. I mean, it was, and the kids always would get a kick out of it too. Sometimes we'd say Miss Brown is watching you, or watch out or something. So it's been kind of neat,
A lot of activity.
Yes.
Yeah, Joyce actually had the certain areas with the cold chill, kind of just certain areas of the library. I don't know that we ever had any of those up here upstairs, but most of those were down in a certain corner of the library, so a very specific area for that in of course the old house. So.
Wow, that's pretty substantial. There's a higher degree of experiences here than I knew of to begin with. So that's interesting for sure. you very much for the interview.
Yes.
Learned a lot.
Thanks.
The Brown Memorial Library. Is it really haunted? Midnight's Light Paranormal intends to find out. We are officially locking the doors for our first investigation. We've set up 4 stationary cameras in certain places around the library that have a history of paranormal activity. Camera 1 is facing the children's room, where an apparition was seen by a former employee. Camera 2 is set up outside of the boardroom upstairs, where odd smells and noises have been reported. Camera 3 is facing a picture of Miss Brown, as well as a corner where temperature changes have been felt. Finally, Camera 4 is set up in the basement of the original Brown home. As nightfall arrives in the village of Lewisburg, we begin our investigation at the Brown Memorial Library. Our psychic medium Steve walked around the library while we were setting up. He wrote down everything he felt and heard.
When I went upstairs, this is kind of what came to me. Quiet time, many hours, my peace, lonely, sickness, plot, gambit. That worries me a little bit. And then I have David watching over my girl. 12 are here. Some of them, I've got Jacob, Ann, Herbert, David, Harold. Anthony is not a human. So that's what I have so far.
Oh, we got a lot to work on.
Yeah.
We begin our investigation with a millimeter sweep. A millimeter detects electromagnetic energy changes and ambient temperature changes at the same time. Got a 0.0 baseline so far. 0.1, 2.0. With no major fluctuations downstairs, we decide to move our session to the second floor of the library. There's been lots of activity reported upstairs, especially with strange feelings and strange smells like roses and cookies being baked. The boardroom is where they've had a lot of the strange feelings and the strange smells. In the boardroom, we've placed a REM pod. A REM pod uses its antenna to detect energy fluctuations and disturbances. It uses colored lights to indicate changes. While measuring in the boardroom, we noticed that the temperature kept going back to 66.6 degrees. We enhanced a picture of the reading so you can see it better. Could there be a negative entity among us? We decide to use a well-known piece of audio equipment to find out. I think that we should conduct a spirit box session up here, see if we can get anything. I'm going to stop rolling on the full spectrum. A spirit box sweeps through radio frequencies to communicate with spirits. It uses a speaker to amplify possible voices. What's your name? Are you part of the Brown family? Did you just hear that?
Mm-hmm. What'd it sound like?
Kind of sounded like it said no. Yeah.
Sounded like, yeah, I heard that.
Are you saying yeah? I'm getting full body chills right now.
Yeah, I'm getting chills right now.
Did you just hear that? Kind of sounded like it said no. Yeah. If you're not a member of the Brown family, who are you? We decide to move to another room on the second floor to see if we can capture any other voices. You want to follow me? I'm going to walk around the upstairs.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? I don't feel you anymore.
Also close.
Did you used to sleep up here?
I'm fully chilled right now.
Yeah, me too. Oh, the chills are bad.
Oh yeah, it's bad right now. Like I can feel that running up and down my body. Are you doing this to us?
Anna.
That
That just said Anna. Anna Brown.
Anna Brown, that's the Miss Brown that everybody keeps talking about. That's who's pictured downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Anna.
25 seconds prior, we noticed a slight anomaly move across the boardroom and appear to leave the room towards the area where we captured the voice saying Anna. We slowed down the footage for a better look. After several moments and no more responses, we continued to the next room.
I don't really feel the chills anymore.
Yeah, it went away.
I think that what we should do, I'm going to go into this room and continue with the spirit box, and then after that, I think that we should try to get an Ovulus session up here in
Okay.
the boardroom.
Mm-hmm.
What did that just say?
I don't know.
Did that say love you?
Sounded like it.
What did that just say? This room makes me feel uneasy. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was making me feel weird earlier.
Like, I'm getting, like... It's hard for me to breathe in here.
I don't like it.
I don't like this.
I don't know what that just said.
What did that just say?
I don't know.
We believe the voice says, "My girl, what do you hear?" Take another listen. To finish our spirit box session, we return to the boardroom.
We're gonna turn this off. So if you have anything to say, you better say it before I turn it off.
Anna, did you hear that?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Anna, did you hear that?
Yeah. You like us being here? Did you hear probably not? Did you hear probably not?
After capturing so much audio evidence upstairs, we decide to regroup at base and prepare for an Ovulus session. After returning to base, our co-investigator Trey begins to be hit with a wave of sadness and has to remain with the technicians during the Ovulus session upstairs.
How are you feeling right now, Trey, after being up there?
Just got a rush of sadness. I can't explain that.
Oh, is this one of the stages?
Yeah, that's the other camera you guys need.
You want to chill out here for a while me and Steve go out there?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, we're heading back upstairs where we just got a ton of activity. And I'm bringing up the Ovulus 5, where they can select words from a database. I'm going to go ahead and turn it all on.
The Ovulus 5 is a device that converts environmental readings into words. It allows spirits to communicate by choosing words from a database. We will periodically display a picture of the word log from our investigation to show you the order in which the words were said by the Ovulus.
So I'm going to start in this room. Was that you? If so, can you pride?
What did it say?
Pride. Like it just took pride in the fact that it just let us know that.
Okay, touch it.
Touch it again.
If you touch that, it'll make it go off.
If you're proud of that. What?
What did it say?
Oh my god, there's a truck outside. It said, truck, interrupt. Shh.
Oh my God.
I'm getting full body chills. I can't feel my face right now.
During our exit interview with the director Diana, she informs us of some information that ties specifically to this piece of evidence.
hours and the whole bit, and he said, oh yeah.
Could this be Dr. Brown himself telling the passing truck to quiet down?
Lisa.
Can you show the wall?
Lisa, was that a name
Lisa.
you got?
No,
Or
it's not
anything?
one of them. But Lisa, can you touch that antenna?
Statement. Surprise. Are you saying that you surprised us with that statement about the truck?
I think something's in the back of my neck.
You think something's touching the
I
back of
think
your
something
neck?
touched the back of my neck. I'm not kidding.
Maybe.
I swear, I'm not even kidding
Alright,
at all.
I'm gonna stop that.
And right when it did it, I was looking at the ovulus, and it was like reading almost full bars.
I'm gonna put this across the table from you to where it's watching you and that. If
Okay.
something says something on here,
Uh-huh.
I want you to near Nana.
Wow.
Oh my.
Somebody's grandmother is near?
With all of the activity on the ovulus and Steve getting his neck touched, I decide to see what happens if I return to base and leave Steve alone in the boardroom. But as I'm leaving, we catch something else.
A minute ago we got near Nana, but off.
Well, it
the
said
camera.
Nana near,
Yeah,
and then Soul Cellar.
like there's a soul in the cellar. There's a basement.
Could there really be a soul in the cellar? Back at base, we watch as the situation intensifies.
Sage is going downstairs, it's just me. Guy, yeah, I'm a guy. It just said guy. What? Please. Okay, what do you want me to do? It just said guy, please. You walk. You walk. And devil. Walk, matter, devil. If this is Anthony, I don't want to talk to you. You can just keep on going.
Could Anthony, the negative entity, be communicating with Steve?
If you're not Anthony and you can come and talk to me, you can. We won't hurt you. Don't be afraid. Strong. So you say you're strong. I want to talk to a spirit. That's who I want to talk to. I don't want to play any games with you. Sacrifice. Why are you here? Aggression. Guys, I think I know who I keep running into.
It's clear that there is some form of negative entity present upstairs. Just as this is happening, we also catch something downstairs.
What was that? That was the REM pod in the children's room.
Hey, we just had a REM pod go off in the children's room. Bring the camera and the digital recorder down here.
Right as Steve begins to head downstairs to investigate what just happened in the children's room, he gets another stunning piece of evidence.
Where? What? David. Where? Sneak David. David, I wrote your name down. Are you guys getting this? Where? Sneak David.
This is compelling to us because David was one of the names that Steve wrote down during his reading of the building. While gathering equipment for the children's room, Trey brings up the iOvulus app on his phone, which is created by the same people as the actual device. What he gets is disturbing.
Did it? Yeah, it said Legion. No. That was the name of the demon that was inside of the person that Jesus exorcised on and sent the demon to the pigs and made the demon go to the pigs.
Bacon before you just said that.
The verse states, Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." Later in the verse it states, "The demons begged Jesus, 'Send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them.' He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs." We don't let this hold us up. The investigation continues into the children's room.
It's like right here. See this big gap right here? This is the new, where like it was rebuilt, like this part in 89, right? I believe. And past this wall is the original home. And to me and to you, it feels like the wall's still there.
Yeah, the energy it shifts almost automatically right when you cross from new to old.
You can feel, it's like walking, like it's just a different world.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we're gonna do an EVP session.
Did you turn
I'm about to disarm the motion sensor in the children's room. We have like a primitive REM pod strapped to the rocking chair arm. We heard it go off, which is weird because they saw through that window. They saw this rocking chair in this room moving with a woman sitting in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an EVP session real quick. Who was rocking in this rocking chair when the employee saw you? Was it you, Anna? Your picture is right outside this doorway.
After several minutes of no responses, we decide to move locations to the basement. If there is a soul down there, we intend to find out. I'm sending Trey and Steve down to the basement. Earlier upstairs we got the Ovulus saying, what was it? Was it cellar and then soul?
It said Nana near soul cellar.
Alright, so that's a good indication that there's something in the basement.
Unless it's something trying to get us to come in the basement.
Exactly. So I'm going to send you two down there, and you guys are going to do Spirit Box and EVP. So good luck with that. We'll be watching and listening.
My anxiety levels are through the roof right now. I don't think I've ever been more anxious.
Is there anybody here? What's your name? Do you have a name?
What was it? I thought it said Robert.
Robert?
Herbert.
Herbert?
Wasn't that one of the names that you...
Herbert.
Yeah. That sounded like Herbert.
It's a man's voice again. Do you have a name?
Hey, I don't know if it was, I don't know what it could have been, but it looked like a mist went by the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Herbert, was that you?
We identified the mist in this brightened picture. We will slow the video down so you can see it better. Look above the red line. Could the soul in the cellar be Herbert, another name Steve identified before the investigation? We tried to conduct an Ovulus session in the basement, but captured no evidence. Little did we know that at the same time the spirits upstairs were calling us back. While we were downstairs, the REM pod in the boardroom was going off with no one even on the same floor. We also noticed a strange noise shortly after the REM pod went off. Take another listen. As Steve and I return upstairs to finish the investigation, Devin, Richard, and Trey listen in.
going to set up a full spectrum camera on a tripod. Alright, what we're about to do is we're going to do an audio session and record EVP at the same time. Right now that's fidgeting on the table from the Ovilus. Alright.
Preacher chest. So are you a preacher?
Wait a minute. Preacher chest. I'm wearing a cross necklace right now
Okay.
on my chest. Look, the camera. This is on my chest right now. This is a cross. Are you referring to my necklace? Ran off?
Okay, here's what's weird. I'm getting a completely different vibe up here.
I am too.
Not bad like before.
Is it possible that my cross necklace ran off Anthony, the negative entity?
Tesla.
Oh wow.
Maybe it's referring to our electrical
Oh,
equipment. That! The REM pod. I'm getting chills
So you
now.
know who Nikola Tesla is?
I think it's referring to our equipment.
Yeah. Interesting.
Maybe it's relating our electrical equipment to Nikola Tesla.
It now seems that a positive entity is communicating with us. The word Tesla is interesting because at that time in history, that name would have been one of the only words that could be used to describe our equipment. As time went on, the activity slowly faded and we decided that it was time to end our investigation.
Nothing. No feelings, no
Wow.
words coming through. I haven't gotten a spike.
Are you gone? Where did you go?
But before we left, we got one last piece of evidence. We set up an exit interview with Diana, the director of the library. She revealed some compelling information that was related to our evidence.
Alright, so we came into this investigation expecting to get, some evidence, but we got a lot more than we anticipated. And Devin has some of the evidence on his laptop that he can show you right now.
It sounds really clear, like it says Anna. See what you think.
Okay.
Anna, did you hear that? Did you hear
Oh,
it?
yes. Oh, gosh, I'm all goosebumpy now.
We got most of the stuff happened up here.
Yeah, especially in this room.
Yeah.
This room
Yeah.
especially.
Dr. Brown had supposedly built this porch on for that younger girl. I thought it was for Anne because she had tuberculosis, but this young girl, Ellen, who died at 19, he said that the porch came out and faced the street so that she could go sit up there but she was like, it was this nervous condition and like a breakdown type, situation for her. And I said, well, I've heard that Dr. Brown would go out and tell people to quiet down on the motor cars and the whole bit, and he said, oh yeah, he's heard all that.
Yeah, that really plays in. Yeah. Okay. So
wow.
that reminds me. In this room, did you say it came off of this side?
He
actually?
said it was right over, there's a window right out here in the hallway. And he
Okay.
said he indicated to me that's where that porch came off.
Because during the investigation on that device, and he can show you the word bank.
I have it up right now.
A truck went by, and Sage was like, and
It's
that thing
really-
doesn't have a microphone, so
Yeah.
it can't hear. And he was like,
It was
hey,
being really
he
loud.
was just letting the camera know that the truck is what we were hearing. It wasn't anything weird.
Yeah.
And then that thing said truck, interference, shh.
It's actually right here. It
Yeah,
says
it was
truck,
crazy.
interrupt.
Yeah,
Shh.
yeah, interrupt, yeah.
Right there, you can see it because it's
Yeah.
the log of all the words that it said.
Which is so weird that you say that.
And it
Because
said up all in a row, like with no pause. It was like a full structured sentence. It was like truck, interrupt, shh, like
so
that.
it's like, like he was out there telling them to be quiet.
I mean, like we've always said, everything always seemed very peaceful. I mean, did you guys did it seem threatening or anything when you were here?
Well, that's
That's
the
what we're about
different
to
part.
get into.
Yeah. So,
He did some interesting stuff, and you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, so what I did is when I first got here, they got here before me. And when I first got here, I walked around the library and I wrote down anything, any kind of feeling that I got, words that came to mind or whatever. And I really didn't get much at all downstairs, but when I came up in here, it just like came pouring out. So I wrote down stuff as fast as I could, and I know I missed some things. But that whole quiet time thing kind of plays into...
Yeah, that does as well.
And which
he wrote that down, and he didn't know you said that either.
Yeah, well, here's what's really weird is a lot of stuff that I wrote down at the beginning of this whole thing, technology said the same stuff that I wrote down. It just came out of my
Some of the same names.
Yeah, like David and Herbert and stuff came across later, and that had nothing to do with it. It's separated. Totally different devices and stuff. And like I said, they don't have microphones, so they can't hear.
We think, and the reason why we have this theory is because of what we captured with the equipment. We think that this negative entity that calls itself Anthony is kind of keeping everybody
At bay.
And they can't, because at one point, you can show her the word bank and you'll see it in the episode, I kept saying I didn't want to talk to this negative entity, and it was mad. And I mean, it was firing word after word after word.
Negative words.
It was telling us it was the devil, and that it was powerful.
And strong.
And strong, but see, if it was really all that, it wouldn't have to say that.
It would actually do the things that it's saying.
So we think it's pretty weak.
Yeah, and
it's just trying to make us scared. It started to be like more calm, and which was strange because just like minutes before it was like going off and exploding. And we got some words on here. It said preacher, chest, and then like right after it said ran off. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense because I was wearing a cross necklace and it said ran off after that, and that makes me think that whatever this entity was realized that I had a cross on me and ran off.
Because it kind of stopped
after that. The activity just slowed down. This interview was very important to our investigation because it opened our eyes to other connections between our evidence and the history of the library. Investigating the Brown Memorial Library was quite a different experience than what we were expecting. From the beginning, there was no shortage of evidence.
It sounded like it said no.
Yeah.
Sounded like yeah.
Almost all of our equipment picked up something.
Was that you?
From audio to video, the library turned out to be a very active location. A voice from the past.
Anna.
And a dark, sinister presence.
Devil. Walk, matter, devil.
It was clear that the spirits and entities at the library knew we were there and were more than willing to communicate with us.
What did that just say?
I don't know.
Did that say love you?
Hopefully, with our investigation, we were able to purge the library of the negative entity and allow Miss Brown to once again dwell amongst her books in peace for all of eternity. It's safe to say that the Brown Memorial Library is truly a hotbed of paranormal activity.
It's real.
Yeah, it is. That's
you watch it on TV.
I'm freaking out about it a little bit, but I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be good. But it's just like you go from watching it on TV to they're not making it up on their television show anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.